Good stuff.
You know, Chillin's kind of underrated. He's a pretty good marksman.
And a very, very strong finish by Ninja Killer with that outtake Johnny. But McChillin is going right back in there.
For 6 years, I traveled around the country chasing a dream. I played video games all my life and liked them so much, I wanted to make a career out of them. All it took was watching a Halo 3 top 10 plays on ESPN, and I was sold. My ambition was simple: become so good that I travel to compete in tournaments and make money. But the grind to be the best is ruthless and unforgiving, and the pursuit of going pro left me with a lot to be desired. This is Confessions from a Failed Pro Gamer. From 2014 to 2019, I competed in Injustice Gods Among Us, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice 2, and Mortal Kombat 11. By day, I was working a regular 9 to 5, but by night, I spent my time staring at a screen for 8 hours, studying frame data and learning combos. After high school, I had friends go on to study law, medicine, serve in the military, and then there was me, studying how to beat superheroes and demigods. Even as a kid, I thought I was good at Super Smash Bros. Melee. Everyone thinks they're the best in their friend group, school, even city. And look, if you played video games as a kid too, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because nothing will humble you more than entering your first tournament and going 0-2. Not even winning a round or a game. Sometimes not even landing a hit. Or you could be like me and get flawless on stream in front of thousands of people.
Go. In the corner, this is gonna do a lot of damage, and Ayate starting things off hot with a flawless victory round.
It took me about a year to develop the skills and fundamentals before I traveled to local events in my state and actually placed in the money. Unfortunately, that was as far as my skills took me. I've won small events, locals with 20 to 30 people, but the majors, the tournaments with hundreds or thousands of players from all over the world, with pot bonuses of tens of thousands of dollars, I never made it, and it cost me. See, back then, video games were my whole personality. If I wasn't working, I was on the game grinding out 100+ sets trying to learn character matchups. If we couldn't talk gaming, it was going to be a short conversation. That's one of my biggest faults when it comes to competitive gaming. My personality wasn't developing at all. Other games that I was good at interested me, like Halo and Gears of War, but I didn't have a team to compete with. And that's the beauty of fighting games. You can't get carried to a win like you can on any team-based game. There's full accountability when playing fighting games. Winning and losing is 100% your fault. When it came to developing friendships, it was more of an automatic process. Play against the same people in local tournaments or in online sets long enough, and you establish enough familiarity to make becoming friends simple. But many of those friendships are very surface level, not talking about anything outside of video games, so you're not developing a deep, long-lasting relationship. We'd become training partners, decide on a tournament we'd go to, and travel there and try to win or at least place in the top 8. Even when traveling to major cities like Chicago and Atlanta, I did no sightseeing, no exploring, no nothing. I either stayed in a convention center or a hotel playing video games with hundreds of sweaty, non-deodorant wearing gamers. And there's a huge social aspect of traveling to events. Facing someone in a match was usually the start of my social interaction whenever I was meeting someone outside of my gaming circle. Tournaments provide the perfect environment to work on your social skills since everyone there has a common interest. General socializing, making friends, even finding a romantic partner are all possible and could even be looked at as a silver lining if you're eliminated early in the bracket. But I never actively tried to meet anyone, so my social skills didn't develop. After competing at a high level for so many years, I'll say that one thing that you learn is how to handle being under pressure. Staying composed when you're losing in front of thousands of people is not easy. Between commentators, the stream chat, and an audience, they can all be counting you out, and they are in most cases. But there's value in still being able to play well at a high level despite the odds being stacked against you, whether you still lose or you somehow bring it back.
And there's armor.
Oh my gosh, hold up though.
And Killin
it's not over. We've seen this before, ladies and
knockdown.
gentlemen. Okay, hold up
EX
though.
flex.
Ice up. Yep.
Ooh,
Oh my God, caught him with the overhead. Yo, the conversion. Oh my God. Yo,
Oh my God.
man.
And Chillin coming in clutch.
I think that skill is applicable into other areas of life, but not much of the other stuff that I learned really is. At this point, my fundamentals are so good, I can pick up nearly any fighting game and play at a decently high level. But can those same skills help me get ahead in life? I can learn optimal corner combos, anti-air my opponents, and control the flow of a match, but I have to walk away from the screen at some point, so where does that get me? One can develop all those skills but have no idea how to start a business, create videos, talk to girls, or get in great shape. Those skills, the return on investment's only worth it if you place in the money. And this was the fighting game community, so only the top 8 or even the top 3 made anything. Esports is blown up now, so there's more money and opportunity, but back then it was stressful as f***. Imagine flying to an event, paying for a hotel and your entry fee with hundreds of other people competing. No sponsor, no pop bonus, just a couple $1,000s and some bragging rights. That was the outcome everyone was playing for back in those days. I think the worst part about it is that my efforts just weren't realized. When it was time to show up, the hundreds of hours put in didn't matter. Even when everything's on the line, even when one opening, one hit can change everything, people aren't thinking about that. In those fleeting moments, they only care about the winner. I think the biggest detriment from this pursuit was gaining little to no life experience. So many opportunities for growth were missed because I was hyper-focused on trying to win, which isn't a bad thing. But in retrospect, it would have been better to make more connections, create content, and develop a skill in conjunction with just pressing buttons on the controller. Just doing one of those things would have brought me a better return on investment than drowning in pools or making just enough money to cover my entry fee. Listen, I enjoyed my time trying to make it as a pro gamer, but in some ways I think the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. Mortal Kombat 1 was coming out and the gameplay looked promising. I had grown to dislike MK11 and was getting less interested in competing, but this game really had my attention. I thought, maybe I'll give this one more try. I played the game on day 1, and I haven't touched it since. But it's not because I didn't enjoy the game. There's so much more money and opportunity now. The players competing, especially the top ones, they treat it like a job. And I just don't have the capacity to play video games like a job anymore. What I do have the capacity for is calisthenics. There's other things too, like traveling, and of course I want to create more and better videos. But there's nothing more satisfying than learning to master my body weight and inspiring people along the way. One thing I was wondering while thinking back on my history as a player is, was it worth it? Would I do it all again? And that's a great question. One of my closest friends I made during my time competing has a decent social media following. We were on the same level and he still competes, but at least he has something to show for his efforts. All I have are my tournament badges, bead sprites and my mains, some friends and some memories. But how many people can say they actually chased their dreams, even if they didn't reach them? I don't have much to show for it, and I think it was a waste in some ways, but I think there's a power in being able to say that I at least went after what I believed at the time to be one of my wildest dreams. To make a living gaming. Even though dreams change, and my dreams now look much different, I'm still glad I can say I went for it.